Hey everyone, I'm back with another video because I've had about a week since I purchased my new Seiko Sumo SBDC083. So I wanted to give you some further thoughts on that. You may have seen my unboxing video. So talk a little bit about that watch, and then also to do a comparison with my King Samurai Save the Ocean Dark Manta Ray, because I think there's a lot of things that are similar about them, but some key things that distinguish them from each other, which I'm actually enjoying quite a bit, and makes them a different experience in terms of how they wear, but similar in size, obviously, because they're both fairly large watches. So first, a few thoughts on the Sumo. If you saw my unboxing video, you will have heard me talk about how I was a little bit concerned about the size of it. It's got a really long lug to lug of 52 millimeters, but I have no issues with that whatsoever. You can see how the case is curved so nicely, and it really does hug your wrist. And so it does not feel like a big watch. In some ways, the King Samurai feels like a larger watch than the Sumo does, despite the fact that the Samurai has a much shorter lug to lug. So it is really key and important to think about the curve of the lugs, not just the length of the case. I love how the bezel sits down within the case on the sides and is revealed on the top and bottom. I think that's extremely nice. The bracelet it's a Seiko bracelet, but it's extremely comfortable, and I think it really fits this watch well. And I think the fact that it's a 20 millimeter lug width is a good contrast to the case size, and it just suits the watch, and everything about this watch just works. I'll put it on my wrist here so you can see that it does. I mean, yes, it's a big watch, but if you look at it down the wrist, sorry, it's not a great angle here, it doesn't wear big. It doesn't wear nearly as big as the dimensions suggest. And I know everybody says that, and it's just hard to explain until you have it on your wrist. It feels incredibly balanced as well. So it doesn't feel top heavy, despite the fact that it is a larger case size, and despite the fact that it is a narrower bracelet than you might expect on a watch of this size. So yeah, I love it. I have no regrets with the size, no concerns about the size. The case design, I'm a huge fan of. And by the way, I have not had to reset it in the week because I've been wearing it constantly. And I believe it is running over the course of 7 days, about 17 seconds slow. So that is pretty good for that 6R35 movement with the 70-hour power reserve. And yeah, it looks pretty great. Very happy with it. So now, just to do some comparisons with the Samurai, which I have done on a previous video. Again, very similar in size in terms of the overall watch, but the case design is so distinctly different that it really makes it feel like a different watch. Obviously, the case on the Samurai is extremely angular and sort of sharp cuts everywhere, whereas the Samurai or the Sumo is really curvy and smooth everywhere. And so although the Samurai has a much shorter lug to lug, it actually, in some ways, feels larger on the wrist, but even it is extremely comfortable and fits my wrist really well. They both have great wrist presence. They don't feel too big, they don't feel too small. They really do just kind of feel just right. Yeah, if anybody has a Samurai or is thinking about getting a Sumo and like I say, has a Samurai but is worried about the size, I think this will give you a good sense of how the two compare when you're wearing them. Again, the shorter lug to lug on the Samurai does make it wear smaller, but the curved case of the Sumo compensates for that extra size. So I always find what I'm looking for when I'm thinking about buying a watch is how it wears on other people that might be similar to how it wears for me. And so if you have one of the watches and you can see it in comparison how it wears to the other, that seems to me is a pretty helpful thing. So that's why I wanted to do this video, just to show you that, how they compare to each other and how they wear similarly comfortably, despite the fact that the lug-to-lug is considerably different. So yeah. So again, Sumo, very nice. Again, my wrist is 7 inches, 7 1/4. It's a pretty cool day here, so I don't have a lot of wrist swell. So this would be a pretty accurate depiction. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments. I try to answer every comment that people leave. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.